Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's conversation on the YouTube Creators Hub podcast. I have a returning guest from episode 333, Tyler Christensen. Tyler joined me over a year ago, and we talked about the Amazon Influencer Program. We discussed how YouTube creators can utilize sites like Amazon and the Influencer Program to further monetize outside of YouTube. As we all know, the YouTube monetization methods via AdSense is rocky, it's up and down, and utilizing the Amazon Influencer Program over the past year, Tyler's made around $50,000 creating review videos for just normal household items that he's going to have anyways through Amazon. And he's also getting sponsored videos and a bunch of other things that he's doing. And Tyler has monetized his YouTube channel since the last time we talked, and he's done a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So Tyler, how you doing today?
Doing great. And hearing the money makes me feel even better. When we talked last time, I was making about $1,000 a month. And so things have definitely improved since then.
Yeah, absolutely. You were just telling me off air that you actually had your worst 2 months, January and February 2024 on Amazon, and you still made around $4,000 a month.
Yeah, I made 5,500 in January and just over 4,000 in February. So not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all, my friend. That's what a lot of folks make in their 9 to 5. And speaking of 9 to 5, you are still a full-time professor and educator. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's my dream job. I don't have any desire to ever leave it, but it's nice to make more because teachers are, of course, underpaid. So I love having YouTube on the side to supplement my income.
Absolutely. My wife is a third grade teacher, so I feel your pain for sure. Definitely underpaid and overworked, and that's why so many teachers are leaving, so many good teachers are leaving the space and getting into things like content creation or teachers pay teachers or building their own websites, or like you do, even with your teaching stuff, and you have a website, you used to do speaking and things like that. All right, so let's get a current state of the Amazon Influencer Program. Explain briefly. I've covered it here on about 7 or 8 episodes, so no need to do a deep dive onto what it is. You can explain it quickly, but just give us an update on kind of where the influencer program is. Is it viable? And then we'll kind of go from there.
Sure. So the difference between Amazon Associates and Amazon Influencer is Amazon Associates is anyone can have that account, and it simply means you're linking to a product from anything that you post on any social media platform. So you post a video on YouTube and link to an Amazon product, you get a commission from Amazon for that. Anyone can get that Amazon Associates set up for free. The difference with Amazon Influencer is you do go through a bit of a vetting process where you have to kind of be an influencer, where you have to have followers that are engaged, and then you submit videos and they approve your videos as part of the application process. And then you move forward from that. And so it is a frustrating and a difficult thing for a lot of new creators to get into the program because they don't have experience creating videos or doing any sort of digital marketing. But once you're in, and it's pretty good at that point. The Amazon Influencer Program is simply having the ability to film a product review video, and rather than putting it on some other social media platform and then driving your traffic to Amazon, you utilize the Amazon traffic and put the videos straight up on Amazon on your storefront page, and then they'll put it on the product pages. And then so people are already going there. They've already decided they want to buy something. If they watch your video and then purchase that product, then you can make it like a 1 to a 4% commission, which if you're only doing a few products, that's not very much. But if you have 1,500 videos like I do, it adds up. And so that's basically the influencer program. What has happened recently, and a lot of people are frustrated with this and struggling with this, is of course, after the shopping season is over, after December is over, your earnings are going to go way down because less people are shopping. And so you know that there's going to be a reduction in earnings for the Q1 of any new year. But in addition to that, Amazon took away a lot of the product placements for videos where they have like an upper carousel, a lower carousel. Sometimes they'll put in extra places to put videos. And for the last 2 months, they've had fewer video spots than ever before, but more people in the program than ever before. So a lot of people's earnings have gone way, way, way down in the last few months.
Yeah, a lot of reasons for that. Now, my follow-up question to that is obviously, do you still find it to be beneficial for new creators to get into the program? Because it seems to me like the name of the game right now is quantity, right? Is pushing out, as many videos as you can to kind of, spread your net as wide as possible. Is that something that you would agree with? And what would you say about new people coming into the program?
Yeah, I'd say that's half right. I think putting in a lot of videos makes an impact for new creators, but also picking the right kinds of videos and finding things that are selling well on Amazon that don't have a lot of competition. And more experienced influencers get really good at that, about making reviews on the right products. Now, I'm not one of those smart creators. I simply review anything I have lying around the house. I'm not buying special things to put into the program. I do have a lot of people send me things for free, and we can talk about that later. But it's finding the right things and then publishing a lot. Now, is it worth it for new creators? Well, if I look at just the videos I posted just last month in February, I'd be making several $100s a month off just those videos. I published 55 videos last month, and many of those are already making earnings. And so I don't know exactly how much I made just from those 55 last month, but I suspect it was somewhere between $400 and maybe $800. And those videos will continue to make money moving forward, depending on how much competition there is in the carousel. I actually did an analysis on what I published over a year ago for 1 month. And on the videos I published that month, I made about $800. Then I followed it over a year, and they actually made over $4,000 total. And so it's somewhat passive in that if no one takes your spot, and if that product continues to sell, you'll make money month over month. And so for new creators, thinking if you can post a few videos and then make 10 or 20 bucks a month for a year, that sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, so just to give the audience a little bit of perspective, I joined the Amazon influencer program, as I do a lot of things, as kind of a test subject for the podcast and kind of the content that I create. And I joined the program back in, let me just kind of sort by upload date here so I know exactly what to tell you guys. Back in 2020, and I've posted a total of 27 videos, which is nothing. I mean, that's not even half of what Tyler did in a month. In December, I made like $61, which is, in my opinion, for the amount of videos I had, pretty good. And they're all kind of lower kind of priced items. I did like an SD card case and some health items and a bed that we got my daughter. And so those things were kind of some things that were recommended. In the last 30 days, as we're recording this, I've made like $8 or something, which is probably about right as far as the ratio goes. Getting accepted to the program can be difficult at times because of the way they do their acceptance of the program. Has any of that improved as far as the requirements and why some people get in and some don't?
Their process has not changed much in the last, at least since I've been in the program, which is less time than you. But what I'm hearing from other people is that gateway of making sure you have an engaged following. The requirement there has become a little more strict. So it's not enough to have 1,000 TikTok subscribers. You have to have 1,000 that are commenting and things like that. And so if you have an engaged following, and it doesn't necessarily have to be huge. I know a lot of people who got in with 50 followers on Instagram, but it was an engaged following. I think that has gotten a little bit more difficult as there are more and more people in the program, but people are still joining every day. And people with no background in video content, no background as an influencer, they're figuring out ways to get in. So while I think it probably is a little more difficult now, it's still possible.
I was looking before we hopped on the call just to get an idea of kind of what other people are doing, because I was very tuned into what you were doing, because I've looked at your Amazon influencer page, and we'll make sure we link that in the show notes of this episode so folks can take a look at that. But I was searching for some items that I would normally search for, or went to my orders on Amazon and kind of looked at the items to see what people were doing. And the influencers that are showing there are actively posting new videos. So they're obviously doing it for a reason. There's obviously benefit there. They're making at least a a portion of what they were making in the past. So I do believe we can conclude that it is worth it if you're willing to put in the work to produce the amount of videos required. And it's like anything on the internet. You've got to be consistent. Persistence matters. And then once you do that, you can start getting reached out to by companies like what's happened to you, where people actually email you on a weekly basis, right? And ask you, hey, would you do a review of my product?
Yeah. And that's one of the cool things is even if the Amazon influencer program went away, I'm monetized on different ways now with YouTube and with sponsored videos that I could still make $1,000 a month doing product reviews because of what I have set up with my influencer program and with my YouTube channel.
Right.
And so because I have so many videos out there, I do get a lot of inquiries. I'm getting 30, 40, 50 a week where people are writing, asking if I'll review a product. Often they hope that I'll do it for free, but then I write back and say, I'll do it if you'll pay me so much. And even with that, I'm doing a handful every week. Basically a third of all the videos that I've posted have been sponsored videos. And so I'm getting paid up front for those. So last year I made about $10,000 in sponsored videos just from the companies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm getting paid on the back end from Amazon, and I'm getting paid on the back end from YouTube because I've monetized that channel, and I'm getting Amazon associates coming over from my YouTube channel. So there's a bunch of streams just by creating that one video.
So let me clarify what Tyler's talking about. So not only does he post these reviews on Amazon, but they're posted on the YouTube channel as well.
Correct.
Okay, so they're posted on the YouTube channel, and I want to make sure I get this correct. It used to be called something else, but now it is called Reviews of Cool Stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, that's always been my review channel.
Okay.
I have a new channel called Creator Side Income where I talk about Amazon, but my review channel is Reviews of Cool Stuff.
So he posts the item reviews there on the YouTube channel as in addition to the Amazon influencer program, which puts it on the Amazon product page, which is what we've been talking about thus far. So he's kind of double and triple dipping, right? Like that's the whole beauty of this system, is that with the YouTube channel, which when we talked over a year ago was not monetized, now is monetized, making a few $100 a month. And I do want to ask you a question that I want to get to here in a second, but I do want to stay focused about kind of the double and triple dipping of income here. He's now putting the affiliate link, which is different, in the YouTube video description. So when someone watches that video on YouTube, they click the affiliate link, they go to the product page. That's completely different than watching his Amazon influencer. The beauty of Amazon, and this used to be a lot better back in the day when we were a part of the normal affiliate program 8-9 years ago, they used to pay you a ton for people clicking on your link and then going to Amazon the next day or so, and they'd buy something else, and you'd get credit for that as well. That has changed. Am I correct?
I believe so. I actually don't follow that really closely, but just looking at my offsite commissions, when I look through that, it's most of those sales are from products that I have actually reviewed. So I think you can still get some crossover with other purchases, but it's definitely, like you said, it's not what it used to be 3 or 4 years ago.
I think the time frame has been reduced. Back then it was like 72 hours, like people could click on your link. Now I believe it's changed, and mobile probably has impacted that tremendously as well. So let's talk about the YouTube side of things now, Tyler. YouTube channel is monetized. Talk about that process for a minute. What was that process like, monetizing the channel, and walk us through that whole thing?
Yeah, so it actually, I started doing product reviews actually many, many years ago, where I just learned that you could post something and using the Amazon Associates program, you can make a few dollars. So I tinkered around with that 7 or 8 years ago and started putting up a few videos. Well, when I talked to you last year, I think I had 300 or 400 videos up on that channel, and I had about 300 subscribers. Well, I went all in on Amazon Influencer, and over the year, I posted about 1,000 more videos. And with those posts, without doing anything else, I wasn't promoting my channel or doing anything with it. Just by posting a lot of review videos, I would get subscribers. So in August, I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. It's close to 2,000 now. So even though I'm not doing anything different, once you hit that 1,000 subscribers, I think like a lot of people just subscribe that you wouldn't get before. So the second 1,000 is a lot easier than the first 1,000. But my first 1,000 subscribers took me 7 years. to get there. And my first month was pretty good. I wasn't doing anything other than what I had been doing before, and I made about $150 my first month. And then it grew to, by the end of the year, I was making about $400 in a month. And I've stayed at that. Even though the shopping season has gone down, I'm continuing to put videos up. And so I'm right around $400 a month, or about $15 a day. So it's a nice little side income that's coming in just by double dipping.
Mm-hmm. And it's one of the things I wanted to discuss with you, in that people always think that your YouTube channel has to be astronomically large to be able to monetize. And you're obviously a living proof that that is not the case. So let's talk about that for a minute. Your channel obviously would be considered small in size in regards to subscriber count, which I believe as time goes on, that subscriber number is a nice vanity metric, but it really doesn't equate to what it used to, right?
Right.
The way people consume YouTube content, very few of them really subscribe, especially people who are watching vertical video or YouTube Shorts or whatever it may be. And so with that being the case, you're generating, a few thousands of views a day on your channel, getting the Amazon affiliate revenue. Can you give us don't give us exact numbers, but like everything totaled up with the ad revenue, the affiliate, the sponsors, the Amazon influencer revenue, like what are you doing? And all of this is stemming from the YouTube channel and video content you're creating. So like, can you give us a kind of a number, a ballpark of maybe monthly and then a yearly kind of what you're expecting?
Yeah, so 2023 was my first full year doing this, and I made $63,000 total in 2023. Even though things have dropped off this year, I'm still on track to make at least $50,000, which is better than my teaching salary. And so I'm pretty thrilled that I would say a normal month is about $5,000.
Right.
4,000 is going to come from on-site commissions on Amazon. Then I'm going to make $400 or $500 from YouTube, $400 or $500 from off-site commissions, which again is YouTube, but it's directing traffic to Amazon. And then I'll make about $500 from sponsored videos.
And I would assume that really there's no ceiling to this. I mean, obviously the Amazon influencer program changes, YouTube changes, but as an entrepreneur and a grinder and a hustler like we all are, you can find new ways to make even more money, right? Like, let's just say last month you did 50 videos. It's pretty simple. You do 100 videos, that might double, right? And again, depending on if you hit on a couple of products that do well. So I just think it's so interesting. So can you give us some advice or give the audience some tips on video creation, of what you've learned over the past year or so of, improving your quality, the amount of videos you got to get out? I assume you have to batch record. Can you just tell us your whole process and kind of what that looks like?
Yeah, so batch recording has been really a big factor for me, because it's allowed me to do 100 videos a month on average. And what I'll typically do is I'll block off a few hours, usually on the weekend because I'm busy during the week, but maybe a Saturday morning, I'll block out 2 or 3 hours. And if I can, I'll have my wife film me. We'll try to do it horizontal videos, about 1 minute. It's a single take. And in the beginning, when I was doing this, I would do quite a bit of editing. I would have a music track. I'd have B-roll. I'd put a lot of time into my thumbnails and my titles. Now I don't do any of that. And this is where Amazon is very different from YouTube. With Amazon, customers just want to see a normal person using a product and get a testimonial. And I can do that in a minute or two, which means I can film in a 3-hour period. I can film 10 to 20, 30 videos and then have minimal editing to put up on Amazon. Now, for YouTube, if I wanted to really maximize YouTube, I would spend some time with thumbnails. I would spend some time with titles. I'd make sure I had a hook in my video. But I don't do that. I just simply use my videos. And that's perhaps why, I have 1,500 videos, but only 1,800 subscribers. If I did better videos, I'd have more subscribers and probably more views, and I'd be making more money on YouTube. But because the money is so good on Amazon Influencer right now, I decided that I could spend more time making better videos, or I could use that same time making more videos, and more videos has made me more money.
Yeah, I think understanding that, it's like my grandma always said, God rest her soul. She always said, "There's more than one ways to skin a cat." Right? There's more than one ways more than one way to do something. So with that being the case, YouTube is just, we have to remember, if you're listening to this right now as a YouTube Creators Hub member, someone who listens to the show regularly, I hope you understand that YouTube is just a vessel. It's just a vehicle for whatever your end goal is. Now, is it a vehicle for you to grow your brand and to grow your channel to be a large community? That's great. Are you a dentist or a doctor or a landscaping company who wants to drive more traffic to your to your product or service, or your software as a service, or your course? YouTube, again, like any social media platform, is just a vehicle for you to get to what you want to get, what you want to get out of it. So, Tyler's using this as the vehicle to drive sales and revenue in many different ways, and he's making what many would consider a full-time living on top of his 9 to 5. So I want you guys to remember that I don't want you to get so caught up in, I've got to build YouTube this way, or it's got to be a box, right? That's why I love YouTube and podcasting, because I can do whatever I want. The format can be anything that I want it to be. It's not a TV show that's got to be so regimented. Now, you do have a family, you do have a full-time job, you do all the things we've talked about. Give us some productivity hacks here. Like, how are you doing all this? How are you doing the batch recording, the teaching as a professor, the dad and husband thing? Like, how are you doing all this?
Yeah. Well, one of the really cool things about being a video creator is it can bleed over into other areas. So as I've improved with my video creation, and while I don't do a lot of editing and a lot of work on my product review videos, I do have a channel where I talk about Amazon Influencer, and I do all those things on that channel. And that's made me a better professor, because I teach a number of online classes and I'm making videos for my students. And as I get better at video creation, my stories are more engaging, my thumbnails are better. And you wouldn't think thumbnails matter for a classroom, but it does. If I put better videos out for my students, I'm going to have better engagement on those videos. We're going to have better discussions. And so that matters. So bleeding that over. And even with my children, my oldest son just started his first YouTube channel, and he's coming to me, and that's how we're spending time together. He's asking me questions. We're working through different things together. And it's been fun because it's truly been his project, but I'm kind of an advisor on that. And so it's been nice to involve my family in a limited role in my product reviews. But as a video creator, it's made it fun because we have other channels where we post things about like our family and our vacations and things like that. The ways that we're spending the money that we're earning, we're posting that somewhere else. And so it's been really fun to have those things carry over. As far as getting everything done, I'm old. I've learned how to make things work. I wake up early. I batch, not just batch record, but I batch everything. This morning was a grading morning, so I graded 400 assignments, and I just take things in pockets and I get work done. And a lot of that comes with experience and tweaking. But I think a lot of my success on the Amazon Influencer program has come because I'm a student. I'm learning through the analytics. I'm learning what's working, what's not. I'm listening to your podcast. I'm watching YouTube channels. And as a student, I get better and better at what I'm trying to do. And that's made a big difference.
So I am a person who loves to talk about not just YouTube stuff, but productivity and efficiency and tools of the trade. Is there anything in the past year, like the tools that you're using, whether it be software, hardware, that has just made your life easier? A book that you read, a different kind of a product that you've bought, like that has made your life easier as a creator that you can kind of talk about? You can talk about a few of them if you'd like.
Sure. There's a few things that come quickly to mind. Just looking behind me, I haven't set up my studio optimally, but for my review videos, you see this brick wall behind me. That was a $7 brick wall that I bought off Amazon. And it's nice to be able to swap in and out these photography backgrounds. That's made a difference for my videos and hasn't been very expensive. So I like having little options like that here in my studio. I completely did my basement. Me and my wife finished our basement ourselves. And so we built this room with special lighting and did certain things. So that was a fun DIY project. Other things that have made a difference. I did just read Daryl Eves' new book. I guess it's not that new anymore. It's about a year old, but that was really interesting. I can't remember what it's called, the YouTube something, but it talks a lot about the history of digital marketing. and understanding what has happened over the last 20 years. And then he gets into a little bit of the tactical stuff on how to do better hooks and thumbnails and stuff like that. But really understanding why digital marketing works, that was really helpful for me. Not so much in my product reviews, but on my other YouTube channels. And so that was really helpful. And then listening to podcasts. I mean, I love listening to your interviews, and I listen to Think Media and a few other of those YouTube channels. And even if you hear the same thing over and over, it makes a difference. So I'll listen to it while I'm preparing to shoot, and I'll get ideas on how to improve my craft.
Yeah, I'm a big podcast consumer. Obviously, I love listening to other podcasters in the space, whether it be technology podcast or hobbyist podcast, or I love business podcast, or probably some of my go-tos right now. Those are some of the things that I really enjoy. So let's talk about now the YouTube channel and the growth of the YouTube channel. You just launched a new YouTube channel to talk about the Amazon Influencer Program. So the question I have there is, what is that process like now as far as creating a new channel, growing from 0 subscribers? You obviously had some following, but your channel's not really a community base, so you really didn't have one. So what is it like growing a channel from 0 to try to grow that channel? What are some thoughts that you have through that process?
Yeah, it's definitely been a harder and a longer process than I expected it to be. I thought, well, I've learned all these things, it's going to translate really well, but it's a grind. It's still hard work. I've posted about 50 videos so far. I feel like I'm improving in my video quality and what I'm producing for my audience, but it's definitely been difficult. So my channel is called Creator Side Income, and I talk about not just the Amazon Influencer Program, but I talk about building an audience on YouTube. I talk about some of the other side hustles that I've had, because I've had many over the years. And it's been great for me just because I want to share my stories. I want to share what I've learned. If nothing else, I'm sharing it with my students in real life, and I'm sharing it with my children. So it's making a difference, even if it never monetizes. But I do feel like I'm learning a lot as I go around the second time and trying to implement the things I've learned on your show and other places. And while it's been difficult, the feedback has been tremendous. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I have an engaged community. People are definitely gaining some benefit by watching my videos, and that's been really fulfilling. That's how I feel as a teacher. I love getting positive feedback from my students, and as a YouTuber, I'm getting positive feedback from my viewers, and I've really enjoyed that. It feels, for me, it feels like I'm just teaching one more class, but it's a global class. Anyone can enroll for free, and it's been a really fun experience for me.
Now, we talked off air about some questions that you received and some feedback you received about dealing with hate and trolls and negativity. I just got off a coaching call last week where the young lady was talking about, wanting to quit because she was dealing with some negative feedback towards her channel that was very unwarranted. And I just wanted to ask you, how do you deal with that? What do you do to guard yourself from feeling the negativity and wanting to quit? Because a lot of what YouTube is, I talked about it a few minutes ago, is just persistence. And if you do 100 videos, you're really in the 2 or 3%. If you do 1,000 videos, you're really in like the 0.09, right? So if you just keep at it, it really is attrition, kind of how it works on YouTube. So how do you deal with the negativity or the hate in a public platform like YouTube?
Yeah, it's interesting because as far as my audience on YouTube goes, there's not a lot of haters because I'm doing product reviews. It's people searching for products and finding my video, and it's either helpful or it's not. And if it's not, occasionally I'll get people that will say that was a waste of my time, or how come you didn't talk about this or that. But for the most part, my feedback's really positive. On my new channel, because it's so small, again, most of my feedback is really positive. But as a teacher, I've developed thick skin because I get student evaluations, and it doesn't matter how good a teacher you are, you're always going to have someone who hates your class. The best teachers often have the most hate. And so I've developed a thick skin from that. And then just knowing that one comment doesn't undo 100 positive comments, right? One negative comment shouldn't undo 100 positive comments. And while you can learn from criticism, it's okay to sometimes ignore the trolls. And I had a student just today email me about this. He said, this has nothing to do with class, but I have a YouTube question for you. And he was asking about dealing with the haters because he has a new channel and it's short form video. So that means it's getting pushed out to a lot of people who didn't want to watch it. And so you're going to get more negative comments on those vertical videos because they're being promoted by the platform, whether it be TikTok or YouTube or Instagram. So you're going to get a lot more negative comments than if you've built a following, have an audience that's looking for your stuff. And so my advice to him was just hang in there, ignore the feedback early on, and wait until you've developed a following, and then the feedback actually becomes really useful.
Absolutely. So as we're getting close to the end of the interview here, Tyler, I really appreciate you coming back on. These follow-up interviews are something that I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on in the past, and I'm sure will be the same here. What's next for you? What's the next avenue of revenue, or the next thing? I mean, is it just kind of status quo, or would you like to branch out into other things or try and the beauty of what you're doing on Amazon in the influencer program is that it really is trial and error to see what works, because we get so little information from Amazon. It's kind of like podcasting. I mean, we're getting more now, but we really have very little information on the data analytics demographics of podcasting. So what's next for you? Like, what are you looking to do short and long term?
Yeah, so I'm a goal guy, and I definitely have objectives for this year. With Amazon Influencer, my hope is to spend 20% of the time I spent last year, but get the same result. So I'm still shooting for between $50,000 and $100,000 this year with product reviews, but only spending a couple of 3-4 hours a week. And I think that's definitely possible, and I'm looking for that. Other hustles that I've done on the side that I'm really passionate about. I love being a public speaker. I just booked a few engagements this week, which is great because I haven't done a lot of public speaking lately. So I'm excited to do a little bit more of that, especially talking to teachers and talking in schools. I really enjoy the opportunity to do that. And then I have a bunch of side hustles that I've put on the shelf that I might resurrect. I kind of miss being a sports writer, getting media passes to go to football games, things like that. That was a really fun hustle that didn't make very much money. So I might bring that back when football season rolls around. But right now, I'm enjoying having the extra money come in. I'm super frugal, so we're investing a lot of it in real estate, in stocks, and other things, which has actually put me on track to easily retire before I hit 50. And then I can volunteer my time basically doing the same things I'm doing now, but not with any financial concerns. And so I'm just grateful for the extra money, and I'm spending a lot of my time putting that money in the right pots.
Yeah, absolutely. And just bonus for those listening, what are the right pots? I mean, you don't have to go into great detail. We're not a financial podcast. We're definitely not CPAs or anything. But I think one of the things creators really fail to do is to utilize the little money or a lot of money that they get from their channel and their content. So, what are some things that we can do as creators and just people as far as like making the most of the money that we do make?
Yeah, I think we're all looking for passive income, meaning that we take some money and we put it into something, and that continues to give us money over and over and over again. And YouTube does that, right? You can create a video on YouTube and it can make you money for years and years. I know with some of your how-to tutorials, those are still making great money. And so that's an asset, right? Making the right kind of videos that are evergreen, that's going to give you money over time. For me, I'm also looking at the stock market. And teaching my children about the stock market. I'm really proud of my son. He's graduating from high school this year. He has over $10,000 saved and invested. He's ready to buy his first townhouse. And I think it's finding things that, again, whether it's dividend paying stocks where you get money each month, or rental real estate, that's an area that we've used and that's been really good for us, is you purchase something and have someone else pay the mortgage on it.
That's right.
And then eventually you get all the money back because it's paid off. And we're getting to the point where one of our rentals is almost paid off. And so then we're going to get a lot more regular money from that. And then so you want to diversify your portfolios. We have money in precious metals and collectibles and other things, but really it's looking at those things that month over month, you're getting money back. And I love that YouTube is part of that equation now.
Yeah.
It really motivates me to make high quality videos that are going to make a difference for 10 years instead of 10 weeks.
Yeah, something I like to do here on the on this program or podcast is I like to talk about different aspects of the creation process, not just monetization, not just how to improve the video quality, but we do need to know how to properly do taxes as an entrepreneur, how to properly invest our money to where it's not all wasted, and years from now we're looking, what did we do with all the money that we made? So I hope as creators we listen to what Tyler was saying there about putting money in the right pots. It's definitely important. So Tyler, thank you again for joining me. Again, thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.